Guys, I'm here because they finally released some real news concerning the next NASCAR game, NASCAR Heat 2. So, I wrote down a couple of the main points of what they released. I'll talk about it a little bit on each detail, and I'll tell you what I think. First of all, for the first time in a long time, in many years, I am truly excited about a NASCAR game. Now, everything I say has to be taken with a grain of salt because, as we've all experienced, game developers hype up their games and they make them sound better than they really are. And at the end, you end up feeling disappointed, right? So, I'm being cautious, but I can't contain my excitement. I have to be honest. They pretty much answered most of my questions that I've had and the things I've been asking of them to address. So, I'm going to start. First of all, it's confirmed that all three series are in Trucks, Xfinity, and of course Monster. As I've said before, I don't think that's as important as all the other things I've been talking about, and I didn't need it. It's great that they have implemented it, and the way that they've implemented it, I'm more excited about than I originally thought I would be. So finally, you get the three series. That's a good thing. Which along with it comes with added tracks, right? So you have Eldora, a dirt track, and a couple of other tracks that Xfinity and Trucks race at that the top series doesn't race at. So that's more content, more tracks. That's a good thing. I'm actually surprised by all of the things they claim they've been able to do. So I have to give them credit. So you got the three series, you got added tracks. Then there's stage racing. They've been able to implement that as well. I think that's going to make a big difference in the game. It's gonna help. All right. Unfortunately, and I am a little disappointed. There's not going to be a paint booth. But I will say this: what they did add, I can live with, at least until the next game. The next game has to have a paint booth, a fully optimized paint booth. But I can live with what they did, which is the ability to customize your car, right? And they said they're gonna have some pre-rendered liveries. You could change the colors, stuff like that. So there's gonna be some customization, and not only that, you're gonna be able to take these cars online as well, so other people can see your custom car. Again, it's not a deep customization, okay? But it's probably going to be a lot like the early EA games that didn't have a full paint booth, but they had these uh, pre-rendered shadings and liveries and things you could add to the car to make it look unique and different. And I think that's a good compromise. If you couldn't give us a paint booth, you gave us a way to customize. And if it's a step to getting a paint booth in the future, I'm okay with that. I can live with that. I won't complain as far as not having a paint booth. This for now is acceptable, and that excites me as well. So it's something, and it shows that they're listening. So then there's offline split screen, right? I'm a little confused about this. It sounds exciting, but I'm not sure what it is. Maybe you guys can explain it to me. I've asked this before. Uh, it's online with a friend, and then you also have a field of AI, or does it says local offline split screen, which I guess would mean somebody would have to be with you, uh, running off the same console, like just two people playing at the same time, and then there's a split screen. Either way, it sounds great. It's great that they implemented it. Um, so that's a good thing. It would be nice if you could race off online with a friend and fill the field with AI, and it's just you and him. But I'm sure that's not what this is. So if one of you guys can explain it a little better, I would appreciate it. but it sounds good. So I'm good. Anything you can add to this game that wasn't there before, it's something. Oh my god! And the most exciting thing, finally, they talked a lot about stats. Finally, statistics are not only going to be a fully fleshed out part of offline career mode, but it's going to be part of multiplayer. And I think it's going to add a lot of incentive, right, to people to try to race cleaner and not just drive around and just use your car as a battering ram and it because nothing matters, right? This will add some sense of accomplishment. People care about stats, and hopefully this will equate to people driving differently and maybe more respectfully and more seriously, which will make the experience better for everyone instead of just having a free-for-all crash derby. Again, that has to be taken with a grain of salt. As usual, there's going to be crazy stuff going on online as well. But this is a step in the right direction, a big step. I'm so excited about hearing about stats. And they talked about having leaderboards for daily leaderboards and an all-time leaderboard, right? Online. Then they talked about online points racing where they're going to have like 4 race stretches where you can race for points. That stuff is all good. I mean, I got no complaints. Leaderboards. And here's the thing that I'm most excited about, the online. You can run online races and fill the field with AI. I've been asking for that. I think you need AI cars to fill the field. Instead of having like 7 or 8 guys racing, you can fill the field with AI and you have the group of people online. And that's important because you need those AI cars as a buffer. And it will help maintain some sense of stability and organization. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying, but I love that idea. And I've been asking for that. And to be able to fill the field with AI is going to make the racing better, hopefully. Again, these are ideas I've been talking about, and there's no way to guarantee how it's going to work until you actually implement it and see how it works. And I gotta give these guys credit. I've been very hard on them, and they deserved it, but they deserve credit because they came out with a lot of stuff. I've been asking for details. I wanted to hear details. That's what I talked about in my last video. I said, you know what? I don't want to hear vague improvements. I want to know what you're going to do to this game. How is this game going to be better than the last game? And I have to be honest with you, they surpassed my wildest dreams as far as at least what they've talked about. Again, as I always say, take it with a grain of salt until I actually see it with my own eyes. I gotta still have that skepticism, right? But I am excited. And I haven't been this excited about a NASCAR game in many, many, many years. So it feels good. Like they listened. They're starting to get it. They talked about fleshing out the career mode and everything. They talked about presentation. There's going to be victory lane celebrations. There's going to be they talked about there's going to be pre-race cutscenes, things like that. They are finally fleshing things out, and this sounds for the first time like a well-rounded title, a game, and they know that the last game was basically a bare bones demo, and I can't believe all this stuff. This is beyond what I expected, and like I said, even the things that I'm a little bit disappointed about, like with the paint booth. You know what? If they would have came out and said there's no paint booth, we can't do that yet, I would have been upset. But they at least met us halfway. They found a way to give us customization, right? And it wasn't bad when EA did it early on, right? Before they had a fully fledged a paint booth, you had these ways to change the livery on the car and add little decals and all kinds of stuff. And that helps, man. I mean, there's a lot of combinations of things you can do. I really hope they let you change the color of the wheels because I'm a big fan of colored wheels. I don't like when they're just black. Cars always look better with colored wheels. And it's a very simple thing to do. I hope they did implement that. That would be nice. And then you could really customize your car. So, really, I'm excited. I wanted so bad to be excited and to come out and say, man, this thing looks. I'm pumped. And they came out with all this information, and it's very detailed. And I'm pumped. I am so excited. What do you guys think? I'm not ready to do a prediction yet. Um, if I was, I would honestly. The game does look like it's going to be an improvement. Again, how much of an improvement depends on how well they executed all of this stuff they said they're doing. And it sounds really good, and it's got to be better. It's just, I don't see how they could add all this and address these things, and the game isn't significantly better. So I'm excited, man. I can't wait. And they said there's still more information they haven't released that they're going to release throughout the summer. So what else can they add? Or just But I'm pumped. I can't wait to hear what else they have to say. Now I'm going to talk real quick about the screenshots they released. The Eldora, there's Texas, and I saw an in-car camera shot. I'm going to say this. As far as the graphics or whatever, I can't look at a screenshot and really judge it until I know, was this a pre-rendered screenshot that was polished off of a PC, or is this straight up? This is a screenshot right off of a console. This is exactly the way it's going to look when you get the game. Until I know that, I can't really judge it. And honestly, it looks almost like last year's game. But I'll be honest with you. If there's one thing I never really complained about, it was the graphics. They weren't great. They weren't mind blowing, but they were adequate. The game didn't look bad. The one complaint I had is that aliasing, and you could see all these jagged white edges, white lines throughout, and the pop up. As you drove, you could see the fence pop up in front of you, the shadows and stuff. That stuff is really bad, and that needs to be smoothed out. But as far as just the overall look of the game, I didn't have a problem with it. And early on, before the game was released, I had a lot of complaints about the way the cars looked washed out and dusty. They had this weird look to them in all the screenshots and even during the pre-released footage. But as it turned out, when the game finally released, that wasn't an issue. So it was something I was worried about, but it turned out to be I was worried about nothing. So those of you who remember those videos, you remember I was really like, what the hell is up with these cars? They just look odd. But, to their credit, when the game released, that was not an issue. It was just something that, I don't know, if they actually consciously fixed it, or it was just the way that they released the footage, it came off that way. In either case, it turned out not to be a big deal. But as far as the graphics, you know what? It kind of looks like something that could have been done with last year's game. But again, that's not a bad thing. The game doesn't look bad. It just doesn't. Now, yeah, there are other games that look fantastic. They look way better. But it's just not a big complaint for me. It's adequate. And in the second, for this being the second game, I like that they're addressing the important stuff. It seems to be that. There are a couple of things that I read in the press release that kind of raise a little bit of a flag, like, that the career mode last year, that it was too difficult for some people, that they couldn't win right away, and that they're going to kind of fix that. I'm not sure where they're going with that. and I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. I'm kind of just in the middle. I don't know what to think of that, but it does raise a flag for me. I don't like hearing stuff like that. The last thing this game needs is to be dumbed down for casual racers. I get it. You know, you don't want to alienate casual fans who might, but you're not going to do that by making the game easier. You do that by the other things that you seem to be addressing. You added the series. You stats, man. I can't tell you. I'm pumped. I've been dying for stats, and I'm talking about in-depth stats, not the stuff people have said. Yeah, there were stats in the Utechnics games. No, I'm not talking about the lanyard card or these. I'm talking about fully fleshed out, in-depth uh, career mode and online stats, compilation of your career and year by year, and I love it, man. The two things that really excite me the most, as I said, is the stats and being able to fill online multiplayer to fill the field with AI drivers in addition to the people you're racing. That's going to make a big difference. I really like that idea, and it helps create a buffer. When you have all these AI cars there, then you're not just focused on trying to, run over people that you're racing online. Now you kind of got to watch what you do. And these other cars, they tend to run a line and stuff. It's not always a good thing for offline career mode, but in online racing, I think it'll work. I think it's a good thing, and I think it keeps people in check. So you can kind of manage the race better. Also, I hope that this encourages people to run longer races, which is something I hate about online. All people do is run these quick little sprints, and I think because of the stage racing, because of having AI field and stuff like that, it's going to encourage people. I hope, all right, to race longer races, and that's the key to enjoying a NASCAR race. NASCAR isn't about a 10 lap sprint. It's just not. It's not a free for all where people are just running over each other. And the things they've added are things I've been asking for. I am so excited. I want to know, are you guys as excited as I am? And again, like I said before, um, I don't want to get carried away because some of this could be hype, but the reason I am excited is because it's very detailed. This isn't vague. And this is what I said in my last couple of videos. I want to hear details, specific details on what you're adding to this game and what you're fixing. So I'm excited. They gave me what I was asking for in terms of delivering information, and I can't. I'm shocked. There's a lot here, and if they really do implement all this stuff, I have to credit them. I have to say they've been doing more than just you know uh, polishing up last year's game, which it seems like they got the message that that the game just wasn't good enough, and it was bare bones. And I like hearing that in these articles and these press releases because that's what I want to know. That hey, man, just admit the faults you have so you can fix it, and don't bullshit us. So I'm thrilled. I will say the one thing that and like I said, they're going to release more information. But there's one thing that I'm still a little worried about is the caution system. I, w- I want to hear specifically that they fixed it because the thing was a mess. But they did mention the caution and the importance of it online, and I would have to assume that they did fix it or at least try to fix it. Also, they said they're going to improve the damage model. All good stuff. Anything you can add is a good thing. So I don't know what else. I think I've hit just on just about everything, and they're gonna release more information. And I think when they do, and they actually release some kind of footage, maybe I'll do a prediction video then, and I'll let you guys know what my predictions will be. But I want to thank. Oh, I also want to thank all you guys that took my message when I've asked and you pushed it forward, whether it's through Twitter, Instagram, whatever, or and just directly, sent the message. I want to thank you because this is why you have to let them know what you want, and you got to let them know that where they're screwing up and what's not acceptable to you as a consumer. If you continue to do it, eventually they have to listen. So I want to thank those of you who did do what I asked, which is forward my ideas and message and stuff. So continue to do that because you can't let up. And so thank you for that. And what do you guys think about all this information? And are you as excited as I am? So I can't wait to hear what else they got in store and what they release as far as information. So you guys have a good one, and I'm having a good day so far. So can't wait to see what's next. Later.